It's Debra, and this is The Flower of Freedom, and we're on Chapter 25, Polish. Leave those burdens outside the door, come on in, have a seat, and we'll get started. Chapter 25, Polish. After that final lesson with Francois, the three of them went shopping again. Bertie was trying to be polite. He was trying to be cooperative for Marie's sake, but inwardly he groaned, "Shopping again? What is this? The Grand Prix of flushing money down the toilet?" Then he heard his mother's voice in his inner ear, and he remembered Francois' admonition to be kind when all else failed. At first it was mildly interesting. They went into fancy shops with very little on the shelves. They would sit in chairs and be offered drinks. It was far from any shopping experience he'd ever had. He usually went to the hardware store looking for a specific item, and when he found it, he paid and he went home. In these places, they demonstrated what they thought you should want, and you said yes or no, and Uncle Aki got saddled with the bill. Sometimes models came out wearing outfits so that you could at least see what you were buying. Marie had been reluctant to choose at first, but that only resulted in Aunt Paulette buying one of everything. Marie was horrified as they left that first shop, so in the next she took some control and she made her own decisions. If Marie indicated that she liked one or another, Aunt Paulette would always turn to him to ask what he thought about it. He devised a workable plan. If Marie seemed to like it, he liked it. If Aunt Paulette wanted to know why, he looked at Marie, who usually used her eyes to point to a part that he could talk about. He liked the color of one, the skirt length of another. When Paulette thought that an outfit was not appropriate, usually because it was too modest, he would speak up and say that he thought it was perfect because it lent an air of mystery to a woman if she was modest. That caught Aunt Paulette's attention. As soon as one outfit was decided upon, Paulette ordered 3 pairs of matching shoes, a cardigan, handbag, scarves, and any other item that she could put on account. She almost always bought something for herself at the same time. "I have been shopping here for years. They know me. Aki will simply pay the charges at the end of the month," she said as they went on to another shop. Soon Marie's closets were overflowing. Unlike Uncle Aki, Aunt Paulette demanded that they never call her aunt. "It makes me sound so old," she lamented, and even though they both thought, "You're not exactly young," they refrained from calling her aunt again. After all, she did not exactly have that auntie feeling about her. That made them think of Dr. Donovan's wife, who they called Auntie Michelle. They both loved Auntie Michelle. She always looked out for them, and she always treated them well and had treats for them in the handbag. Aunt Paulette was not that sort of lady. On the day after they arrived, there had been a tailor waiting for Bertie in the salon after lunch. Uncle Aki had insisted upon being called Uncle by both Marie and Bertie. He left each morning and he did not return till 7 each evening, so that left them at the mercy of Aunt Paulette in the interim all week long. Bertie was measured that afternoon for a dress suit, a tuxedo, several shirts, and pairs of shoes. When he asked to speak privately to Paulette, he told her that he had no way to pay for the clothes, and she shooed the idea away. "Aki will pay, my boy. It is his best attribute," she said. "You will need to dress appropriately to accompany us to the engagements over the next 2 weeks." When the tailor returned 3 days later, it was with far more than Bertie had been measured for. Paulette seemed to think of her as her boy doll. He groused inwardly. She picked out an entire wardrobe for him, and soon it was hung in the closet in his room. There was more in that closet than there was in his entire clothing wardrobe at home. Shortly after, they started accepting invitations to evening functions. They seldom started until 8, and they never ended before 2. Bertie wondered how Uncle Keith survived the schedule with the demands of his work, but he never complained. At the first event, Paulette insisted on walking in on Bertie's arm, and Uncle Keith escorted Marie. Bertie thought it was odd, but he went along with it. What harm would it do? Paulette liked making a grand entrance, and people were obviously surprised to see who she was with. Aki was more low-keyed, but within a moment or two, everyone graduated to him, and he enjoyed introducing his grandniece. Bertie could see that he was glowing with pride. He felt Paulette's hand on his arm tense when she saw it. At that point in the evening, something jarring happened. Marie was introduced as their niece, and Bertie was introduced as her childhood friend. Bertie blinked at the time when it was said, but Marie caught his eye, and a few moments later she drew him aside. That's the end of our chapter. That was chapter 25 of The Flower of Freedom. Please come back. If you want to, please subscribe and give me a thumbs up so that other people can find us too. Thank you. Bye.